It's hard to say what the worst movie ever made is. There are so many terrible films out there, and everyone has their own opinion about what makes a film the worst. There's no single movie I could point out as being called the worst of all time, as the answer is almost always something different. However, if you ask someone what the best movie ever made is, you're probably going to get the answer Citizen Kane. Not always, but it's a pretty safe bet. However, Citizen Kane is one of those movies that almost everyone has heard of, but most people haven't seen. And if you know the kind of movies I watch, you'd be correct in assuming that I was one of those people. Until today. I am, as you might say, a B-movie connoisseur, a collector of shit, if you will. And it's easy to dismiss a shitty B-movie and call Citizen Kane a great piece of art, but that would mean you're a snob, and you smell like one too. I have a point here, folks. Citizen Kane is not made of gold, and here's my proof. Case in point, cool as ice. Who could forget the timeless story of Citizen Kane, Orson Welles' 2-hour character piece about a man brought from poor beginnings to wealth and power, only to find that the thing that was most important to him wasn't worth anything. It's a tragic character piece, wrought with imagery and ideas much ahead of its time. Cool as Ice, perhaps even more timeless of a tale, chronicles the journey of one Vanilla Ice, a motorcycle-riding homeboy who must get his homie's motorcycle fixed and win the girl at the same time. He must overcome the obstacles of not only kidnapping criminals, but the prejudice of a square, middle-class white neighborhood. One is a 1940s masterpiece, the other is a vanity project with the star of Da Hip Hop Witch. And here's 10 reasons why Cool as Ice is better than Citizen Kane. Number 1. The Stars. Name one actor in Citizen Kane other than Orson Welles. Aha! Can't do it, can you? That's because that snorefest doesn't have the star power of Vanilla Ice. Get this, Cool as Ice not only has a super awesome movie guest appearance by Naomi Campbell, but it also has Michael Gross in it. You know who Michael Gross played? Other than the dad in Family Ties? That's right, he was Burt Gummer, aka the best character in the Tremors series. Cool as Ice also has some other people. Probably. Though to be fair, Citizen Kane also has this guy.
I think it would be fun to run a newspaper.
Number 2. The Wacky Montages. You may not know this about Citizen Kane, but it's not heavy on the music video montages. It's not hip with the young people, as we say. The best you get is a newsreel montage at the beginning about how Kane was old and crusty. Cool as Ice, however, is so full of montages, you'd almost think that they didn't have enough movie to fill the time. There's too many to list, but highlights include a giant food montage, dancing at a construction site montage, this weird fast-forward house montage, depressed about not being able to ride a horse montage, and the falling asleep on the couch montage. That's jammin', yo. Number 3. The Fashions. Cool as Ice was a forward-thinking movie. Look at that jacket. It says stuff like deep and down by law. That's so rebellious. My personal favorite fashions were the pants, though. Vanilla sure knew how to keep things current. Look at the neighbors' reactions. They're like, oh no, he didn't! He was also crafty. He could only afford half of a suit, so he sewed it onto an old one to make this cool half suit. He also had a condom-shaped beanie, which I think means the movie was a metaphor for abstinence. Now look at Citizen Kane and tell me Welles wouldn't be envious. Just take it all in. It's all suits and shades of gray. It wouldn't have killed them to throw in a little color, is all I'm saying. Here, I'm gonna instantly improve the movie. Perfect. Number 4. The Posse. Here's Kane's posse.
Welcome home, Mr. Kane.
Notice something they all have in common? They're a bunch of old dudes. Here's Vanilla's posse. That's keeping it fresh. Number 5. The Villain. You could say the real villain in Citizen Kane was Kane himself, but if you did, you'd be an idiot. Clearly, the villain was Getty, this one dude from like one scene who threatened to expose Kane's infidelity if he didn't throw the political election. And come on, are you intimidated by this guy? If he had a cool staff with a dragon on it and an eye patch maybe, but he's just some guy in a suit. He doesn't even do a scary voice or anything. Cool as Ice, on the other hand, is not afraid to do the obvious and make the villain the love interest's douchey jock boyfriend. There's also some goons working for a crooked cop who have guns and stuff, but I think the real villain was the boyfriend. And in the end of Citizen Kane, no one gets what they deserve. Kane just dies in the end, which is totally not cool. But check this out. Ice totally gets the one-up on the boyfriend guy because he rides his motorcycle over his car and he's all like, "What?" That was cool. As Ice. Number 6, the romance. I know what you're thinking now. If you have watched Citizen Kane, you'd know that it was well known for how romantic it was. I mean, come on, he had 2 wives. He had to have been a ladies' man. And listen to his pickup lines.
He's still a well-meaning fathead who's letting a pack of high-pressure crooks run his administration. This whole oil scandal.
He happens to be the president, Charles, not you.
That's a mistake that will be corrected one of these days.
People will think.
What I tell them to think.
There's also a weird scene with a toothache and shadow puppets. I'm not really sure what that was all about. But I'm sorry, Kane just can't compare with Ice's raw sexuality. First he almost kills Kathy, then he renames her.
Kathy. Cat.
Then he steals from her, he does this rapey dance in front of her boyfriend, and he breaks into her house to drip ice on her. It's a romance we can all relate to. You know, Citizen Kane, sometimes it's better just to stick with the classics. Number 7, the dialogue. Here's the only line you remember from Citizen Kane. Rosebud. That's one word, buddy. Oh, that Orson Welles. What a wordsmith. Here's some other notable quotables from this classic.
You're getting paid, mister, for opinions or for hauling?
I'd make my promises now if I weren't too busy arranging to keep them.
I'm not a gentleman. Your husband's only trying to be funny calling me one.
I'm drunk.
Cool as Ice, show them how it's done.
You want to dance or you going to do homework in your head all night?
Words of wisdom. Drop that 0 and get with the hero.
Oh, homeboy, this.
Someone had to say it, but I believe Citizen Kane just got schooled. Number 8, the music. I hate to break it to you folks, but Citizen Kane does not hold a candle to the fat beats of Cool as Ice. Oh sure, it tries, and it might make you chuckle at times. But it's only because you've been so bored by the rest of it that you're desperate for a laugh. And I can't believe I have to tell you this, but the music in Citizen Kane doesn't even have lyrics. How can a lyricless orchestral number compare to such gold nuggets as these?
With a lesson well taught, here's some more advice. I don't sweat it on the mic cause I'm cool as ice. I'm not sleepy, dopey, or grumpy, but you be falling just like Humpty did. Ow. Ow.
Take that, Citizen Lame. Number 9, the choreography. This is about as exciting as Citizen Kane gets, people. They don't move with the grace and agility of one Vanilla Pea Ice. It's almost as if an army of invisible spiders has besieged him, and he must use his God-given ability to dance to shake them away. Even the old couple in Cool as Ice has better moves than Kane, and that, I think, is the true tragedy. Number 10, the Intrigue. I think what all of this boils down to is the plot. And can you guess which one was more exciting? Okay, let's compare, shall we? One movie is about a newspaper tycoon and his rise and fall from power with a great big heaping pile of politics and wordy scenes. Yawn. The other movie has motorcycle rides, or sometimes motorcycle sits, and a plot about witness protection that fits so seamlessly into the movie it could have been cut out and nobody would notice. And it handles the drama so well.
We have to tell her.
What? Tell her what?
The truth.
Slam.
There's something I should have told you a long time ago.
Also, I'm gonna spoil the ending for you. Citizen Kane, it's about a sled. Hope you haven't shit your pants in excitement over this. So there you have it, 10 reasons why Cool as Ice is better than Citizen Kane. If you want to be a film snob and talk with all of your friends over escargot about how Citizen Kane is the bee's knees, then that's your prerogative. But as for me, I'll stick with the more entertaining feature. Maybe if you gave the Iceman a chance, you'd think the same. Or, as Ice would say, you gotta drop the zero and get with the hero.